What's going on? I'm Jermaine O'Neal. Today we're going to talk about the possible trade with the Toronto Raptors and the Indiana Pacers. If you haven't heard by now, obviously the Toronto Raptors are trying to get rid of T.J. Ford, Indiana is trying to get rid of Jermaine O'Neal, and that's the possible trade that's going to happen. But what happened is Toronto would send T.J. Ford, Raso Nesterovic, in their first round draft pick at number 17 to the Indiana Pacers for Jermaine O'Neal. Now, as all of you basketball fans may know, Jermaine O'Neal only played 42 games last year and had career lows in points and rebounds, which was 14 points and 7 rebounds per game. Now, he did have knee surgery. He sat out the rest of the season. Supposedly, he is healthy, which has been said around the news, and that he's also working out in Las Vegas right now, trying to get himself back in basketball shape. So, to let you guys know, this trade could work out, could not work out, but this trade is going to happen obviously before the NBA draft even starts, pretty much, which is on Thursday night at 7:30 on ESPN, just in case you guys did not know. Now, the way this would work is Indiana would obviously have the 11th pick and the 17th pick. They would have TJ Ford, the point guard, so the question is whether they would still go after another point guard and possibly get DJ Augustin and then trying to ship out Jamal Tinsley. That may work, it may not. But Indiana can also change it up. With having the 11th pick and the 17th pick, they can go big both ways and probably not focus on DJ Augustin, since they would have TJ Ford as their starting point guard for next season. So, it's all on Larry Bird and what he decides and what he's going to do. But if Indiana is to get TJ Ford, this would probably work out because TJ Ford can obviously push the ball, work around Jim O'Brien's offense, and possibly get Danny Granger some more easier opportunities on the offensive end. Do not forget, you also have an up-and-coming Mike Dunleavy Jr. who had a pretty good productive year last year. You also got Troy Murphy in the front court. Indiana is going through a rebuilding process. Now, let's go to the Toronto Raptors and how this trade would work out for Toronto. Now, don't get me wrong, trying to get Jermaine O'Neal is great, but here's the thing. He hasn't been very productive in, the past 3 or 4 years. He's been pretty much injured, beat up, battered up. The next problem is Toronto would be taking a big burden as far as his contract goes. He is due to make $21 million next year, and then the following season, in 09-10 season, he's scheduled to make $23 million. That is a big problem and a big burden that Toronto would be taking on. Now, if Jermaine O'Neal is to come back healthy and he's able to get back to his all-star caliber play, obviously, him and Chris Bosh would be a big problem in the front court. They won't have Slow Nesterovic in the front court. Toronto did just get rid of Jorge Garbajosa, let him go. So obviously, Bosh and O'Neal on each side, on each part of the block on the offensive end, and also they would be big problems on the defensive end. This is if Jermaine O'Neal is to be healthy. Now, if Jermaine O'Neal, his knees start flaring up or he starts having injuries again, then this trade is obviously not going to work out for the Toronto Raptors. Well, it's only a matter of time to see what's going to happen, whether this trade is going to be pulled off or not. And also, fans, do not forget there's also a possible situation of TJ Ford going to the Phoenix Suns for Boris Diaw, and Toronto also would be sending their 17th pick in the NBA draft. So that's my report on this possible Toronto-Indiana trade. I'm Jermaine O'Neal.